Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. It's Lee here. So I'm doing another video for Dephemerember, which is an open collaboration hosted by Louisa Heinzel and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. So it's the 12th of December and today's prompt is Kintsugi Houses. And I have to admit I needed to look up what that meant to find out what it is. I did actually know what it was, I just didn't know what it was called, which is what I found out when I actually saw some images. So kintsugi is something that Japanese, well, it's a Japanese form of art where you break something and join it back together with gold. It might be a piece of pottery or something like that. On this page I'm going to create a big pocket, so I'm going to glue this piece of black cardstock over my page or sew it on. I'm not sure which way I'm going to attach it, but that's going to be a pocket, and I'm going to have a belly band down the front of it. So I'm going to have a belly band down there, and then I've got 4 playing cards that Di sent to me. I'm going to make them into houses, and I'm going to set them up as a waterfall of flip houses. And maybe only 3 actually. When I think about it, I need to put roofs on them. I'll do 3. I'll attach them to there somehow, so I'll hinge them on, and on the backs of them I'm just going to attach a bit of index card. So there's going to be like a little writing space on the back of each one of them. First thing I'm going to do is attach this black cardstock onto here. I'll sew it over and I'll re-punch the holes, but I want to round the corners. So I'm going to fast forward through a lot of this because my video from yesterday was actually 2 hours long. It ended up being about 28 minutes by the time I sped it up, and I did a voiceover because it was easier than just mumbling away as I tend to do when I'm working. I'm not talking into the microphone or anything, so yeah, it's probably best if I fast forward through most of it. I'll let you know what I'm doing, and yeah, so that's the way it's going to be, and there'll probably be a little bit of voiceover. And you can see what I'm doing anyway, so it's pretty obvious. So I'll probably wait until I've made the page before I glue that on or sew it on. So I'm just going to cut a piece of cardstock. I've cut a piece of cardstock and I'm going to use that as my belly band, and I've got a white permanent ink here, so I thought I'd just go around the edge of that belly band with the white ink just so it stands out a bit more, and also did the same to the actual pocket. I like the way that looks with that white edge. What do you think? So the next thing I'm going to do is just scuff up the surface of these playing cards with my little sandpaper block there. I just want to make sure that everything is going to stick nicely to it. And I actually sandpapered the 4, but I only end up using the 3 cards. So I've got them there, and I'm going to attach a little piece of index card to the back of each one, so that'll be my writing spot. So my little Kintsugi houses are going to flip open and there will be a journaling spot behind each one. And once I've got all my cards covered in the fronts and the journaling spot on the back, I'm going to attach a roof to each one. So I use some of that lovely mustard wallpaper on this one. And there's my first house. How's everybody going? Hope you're all doing well and that you're playing along with this super fun challenge. I love this one. And if you're new to my channel, big welcome to you. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and leave a comment. So I love it when a comment gets left, and I love to answer the comments. I just hope that you find the channel inspirational for you. I love to share stuff and try new ideas. Not an expert. So I just making things up as I go along. So if that's the way you like to roll, perfect place to be. Okay, and here's my 3 little houses. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. I love them. So I've stitched around them, and this is sort of how they're going to sit on the belly band. So this one is going to open out that way, and these 2 are going to open out that way. I'm going to use an offcut from my black cardstock to hinge the little houses onto the belly band. So I have my 3 little hinges made, and I'm just putting a little bit of a decorative edge on them with a gold paint pen. Now what I'm doing here is just outlining that belly band, but this is where I'm drawing on some fake kintsugi, like gold joins on the card. And I'll do the same on this pocket. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of frame in this. I didn't realise that I was not in frame. There we go, pushed it back up. Hopefully it stays there. So I love the gold on that black. So what I'm trying to do here is to make it look like it's been broken and it's been rejoined with gold. So I think it really looks effective. So I'm doing the same thing to my houses, because it's Kintsugi houses after all, so they have to be broken and joined back together. I did think about tearing them apart or cutting them apart and rejoining them, but then I thought about the writing spot on the back. That was a bit pointless to put that on there if I was going to tear it apart, because you wouldn't be able to write on it. So that's the 3 of them all done with, well, they're fake gold joinery on them. And because I just can't resist the urge to outline them in the gold, I do that as well. I tell you, put a gold paint pen in my hand and you just can't stop me. Everything ends up outlined in gold. And the next step is to put the little hinges on. So I've only got maybe 1/4 of an inch showing at the front, and over the back there's probably about 1 inch. So I want to make sure that they're nice and secure. And I'm just using those little clips to hold down the little flap on the front until the glue has set. And here's my little flip open houses attached to the belly band, which I have actually given a light coating of gesso. I just used my brayer to apply it, and now I'm going to put some sort of decoration inside those little houses on the belly band. So when you open the houses up, you'll see something interesting to look at. So I've just got some offcuts from where I was die cutting some flowers, and I'm trying to work out what I want to put in there. And I ended up going for a black piece of cardboard with the craft paper underneath it. So I'm just going to glue that down, then trim it to size and add it onto the belly band. Remember when I said I can't help myself when I've got a gold pen in my hand? Here I go again. I'm really happy with how that looks, but I think it would look even better if there was a white flower on top, just for a little bit of contrast. I think that looks stunning, absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And I'm using some art glitter glue to hold that in place. I've got a piece of that gorgeous rust-dyed fabric that Di sent to me, and I'm going to put a piece of it behind the belly band and a couple of little bits of tulle in there as well, just to add a little bit of contrast and to lift it off that black background. I just think it needs an extra little bit of oomph. I also want to add a little bit of this gold thread, and I saw Louisa do a little trick where she made a thread bundle and then stitched it with her sewing machine so it didn't keep unraveling, and it works. It's amazing. I thought for sure it would take it down inside the mechanics of the machine, but yeah, no, she was right, it works. So that's a really handy hint. And once I get my composition where I want it to be, I'm going to take that to my sewing machine and actually stitch that belly band onto the pocket. Now, have you been paying attention? Because you might be wondering, didn't I already attach that house? Yes, I did. We had a little accident. It got ripped off in the sewing process. It got caught in the sewing machine foot and it tore the little house off the card. So I made another hinge and stuck it back on, and I reshaped the roof a little bit because it was catching when it was opening and shutting. And now I'm just adding a little bit of this die cut mesh just to add a little bit more interest to the roof of that house. I think that looks better because I did actually paint it too, in case you hadn't noticed that. Yeah, I forgot that I'd done the paint job on it. So I think I'm happy with the belly band now, but a couple of bits of the tulle needed to be glued down. Now it's time to add the pocket onto the page, and you can probably see there's a few gold dots there. I can't be trusted with that gold pen, can I? Anyway, I'm using Aileen's tacky glue because I know it's a really good glue for sticking in these situations. So I'll glue that on, and I do end up sewing around that. I just decided to do it. Not that I didn't trust the glue or anything, but I thought, oh, well, you know, I've sewn around everything else, why not sew around that? It's splatter time, so this is white gesso that I'm splattering on there. I'll put that on and then I'll leave it to dry. If you're a regular visitor to my channel, you know that I change my mind about things halfway through a make quite often, and I decided to change that roof shape because I didn't like the roundness of the other one. And I wrote out a little Kintsugi proverb which says the value of an object is not in its beauty but in its imperfections. And then I also wrote out the words perfectly imperfect edge them in gold, and I'm going to attach them on the page somewhere, as well as my little Effie. So he's going to get stuck in the corner down the bottom there, and I put a little hat on, a little gold hat on him, so he fits in with the colour scheme. And I'm just deciding where I want to put those words in relation to the actual belly band. And I do stick this down with glue in the beginning, but end up running over it with the sewing machine just to be sure. So that's going on the page. And then the perfectly imperfect. And I forgot to take note of where the eyelets were when I was doing this. So one of those words is right on top of an eyelet. I find that out a bit later when I try to punch the holes. So if you're doing something like that, something to remember is to watch out for the eyelets. Just adding a little bit more of, to the roof of that little house. I love that little gold house, gold and black house. It's my favourite one. Okay, so this is where Effie gets his little gold hat. It was just one of those circles that I cut out earlier on and didn't use. He looks cute down there. I can't make up my mind where I'm going to put that proverb, so I don't end up putting it anywhere. No, I didn't want that proverb to go to waste, so I folded a piece of black paper. So I've just folded it in half, drawn a doodly border around the edge of it. So I've put the craft paper flower in the background and then pasted the proverb over the top. Oh, there's the gold pen again, dots. Somebody should hide that pen, I think. So I'm happy with that, and I'm going to pop that under the belly band. And here it is in all its glory. A little bit messy, I think, but I still love it. I love the colour combinations. It works perfectly. And that's the big pocket there. And all the little houses open out, and they've got a little bit of card on the back side of them so they can be written on. There's the little folded booklet there that's just sitting in the belly band. And yeah, I'm very happy with this. I did decide to add a few little black splotches of drawing ink as a last minute inclusion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it's given you some ideas. And if you were stumped by the prompt as I was in the beginning, I hope that this has helped you to think of how you can actually create something using that prompt. So let me know in the comments what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. I'll see you for the next prompt. And in the meantime, happy crafting, and big cheers and hugs from Australia. Hooroo!